Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we are going to be going over Mirror Arrow, Blink Arrow, Necromancer, or at least my day one experience with it so far in Affliction League. So, one of the biggest criticisms that people made about the last video that I made about this build, i.e. my League Server build, they were very concerned about the clear of the build, as of course, when you have a normal Bama with the auto attack version, and you're only on like a 4 link and you're trying to do a Void Stone Rush, it looks very bad. And yes, it is very bad. But I was promising you guys that with the Rain of Arrows version, the clear will become significantly better. And to I've come to deliver on that promise because oh my goodness, Blink Arrow of Bombarding Clones is absolute bananas, okay? Not only does it have insane synergy with Fresh Meat and Ancient Skull, it also has ridiculous attack range. Like, I'm talking like off screen capabilities. Like, it literally will shoot off screen if it needs to, right? Which is ridiculous, right? It also does very comparable amounts of single target damage versus your normal Bama clones, while also, of course, having insane clear. And all of this combined leads to probably going to be one of my best league starts of all time. Did both Void Stones. I'm at like 80 plus maps completed on my Atlas, and I'm getting ready to ping pong between two maps to farm some currency with the league mechanic. Now, overall, this build has just been absolutely insane. Like, I'm just floored at the performance of Blink Arrow of Bombarding. Now, there's a few caveats with this that I need to talk about. The first thing is the way that Blink Arrow of Bombarding and of course Mirror Arrow of Bombarding and of course, the prismatic clones, the other two, right? The way that these work is you can only have 3 of each at a time. What do I mean by that? You can only have 3 bombarding clones at a time, whether that be mirror arrow bombarding clones or blink arrow bombarding clones, right? But you can also have 3 prismatic clones as well. Now, I did some preliminary testing on prismatic clones. Essentially, if you don't know, they're like Ellie hit, but on a blink arrow setup. And the biggest problem with them so far is Path of Building hasn't updated per se. So that means that I can't really get into the nitty gritty and try to see how to scale these. So I've just been focusing on the Rain of Arrows version that you see on the screen. And it is very, very, very effective. It is like playing a Ballista build if Ballista builds were on steroids. It is absolute bananas in just how smooth the whole build feels together, being able to move with your attack skill and just constantly blink around the map and be able to clear screens very easily while also just relaxing, picking up gear while all your clones do all the work for you. All that combined, just oh my god, it's just I don't know where to begin. It's just been so good. But now we're gonna go in game, and I want to talk about some of the upgrades that I've done since of course, the league launched. All right, here we are in game with the character. The first thing that I did was I leveled a Bama setup like I was talking about the other day. I leveled it all the way to like Act 4, and then around Act 4, I actually borrowed a Chaos Orb to buy Bombarding Clones here. This gem here. This gem literally carried me throughout the entire campaign. It is absolutely insane. The coverage is insane, the damage is insane. Everything about this gem is just ridiculous. Like, I'm very surprised at its performance. It's like Rain of Arrows except on a stick, and it turns out that's very good because it allows you to just kind of like run around maps while just killing monsters and not really caring, and it's great. Now, you must be wondering, Dread, I'm going to look at over here, and you see that this minion has a duration of 66.88 seconds, right? This means that he lasts a very long time, well over a minute, right? That is because we're abusing fresh meat. The main reason why bombarding clones is so strong is because it has a base duration of 20 seconds. Now, of course, if we're playing normal Bama and we're trying to stack a bunch of clones, right, overlap, right, we are stacking a very large amount of skill effect duration. And this is actually one of the main reasons why we're playing Necromancer over, like, let's say Guardian, right? Is because this massive 60% skill effect duration multiplier that is very hard to get otherwise, right? And of course, we grab the skill effect duration here, and we grab the skill effect duration here, and then we grab some minion duration percentage here. All of that combined means that our Blink Arrow Bombarding Clones has well over 66 seconds of duration. Now, that normally would not be very good. You don't really need that long of a duration, especially with how low the cooldown is, you can see there, right? But thanks to the fact that fresh meat exists, essentially what this does is it gives your minions adrenaline for a decent amount of time based on their duration, about 10%, right? They gain base crit, which is really hard to scale on minions, crit multi, which is also very hard to scale on minions, and it also gives them adrenaline, which gives them 100% increased damage, 25% increased attack and cast speed, and 10% Fizz PDR. This makes your Rain of Arrow Bombarding Clones absolute monsters. You can get this gem in Act 2, and you can, of course, combine it with Blink Arrow Bombarding Clones, and it will literally carry you, even on a 2-link. It's just disgusting at how strong this combination of skill, like, is. Just how crazy it is. Like, if you watch the footage, you can see how fast my Rain of Arrow Bamas are, like, shooting, and it's just disgusting. Now, another thing that I did after I played the normal Bama setup, I went and bought myself an Ancient Skull for around 10C. The reason why we like Ancient Skull is we're grabbing an extra power charge here. So we have 200% increased crit for our minions, right? That is very strong because we're getting base crit from our fresh meat, and we're also getting base crit from our weapon, which means that, of course, all of this combined means that we can get very close to crit cap with our Blink Arrow of Bombarding Clones with very little effort. Now, of course, you also have it so minions hear whispers after they deal a critical strike. This just gives them extra attack speed and damage, and it makes them take 20% of their max life as chaos damage per second. Now, this is very easily avoidable, as they not only do I think they have like 10% base chaos res, you can also grab the note here, minions leech 1% of damage's life, and this essentially counteracts the entirety of Ancient Skull's downside. So this is just a gigantic damage upside. As soon as I got this helmet on, like, I could feel my damage like just spiking through the roof. This is like the first upgrade I got after, like, I think I got it like level 60, and I waited until level 73 to put it on when I was in white maps. And as soon as I did that, oh my god, like, my clear just went through the roof, right? Now, the second upgrade that I want to talk about that I got was a replica stampede. Now, replica stampede, the way it works is it sets your movement speed to 150% of its base value. This means that you'll never go faster than 50% movement speed, right? You can't use Quicksilver Flask, you can't use anything to make yourself go faster, right? Well, it's fine because our movement skills are damaged. So what we do end up doing is we just blink everywhere. So instead of like actually walking everywhere, we end up blinking everywhere, and it also frees one of our flasks to run other flasks instead of a Quicksilver Flask, right? Now, the main reason why we're using this is because of the first line, socketed travel skills deal 80% more damage. This is almost effective as a 6-link worth of damage, and if you put your Blink Arrow of Bombarding Clones inside of it, you can essentially almost get a 6-link worth of damage out of it. Now, also as well, you can anoint it with Cassia, and turns out as a minion build, there are a lot of nodes like Grave Pact, where it gives us some accuracy rating that we desperately need with this kind of setup, right? Or of course the other node over here, like Fearsome Force, which gives us like 60% crit chance and crit multi, right? You need more, you want more anoints. So not only does it give you the 80% more damage, it also gives you access to another anoint. So you can have one anoint here and one anoint here. That combo leads to a lot of extra damage, of course. That was the second upgrade that I did. The third upgrade that I did was I just bought a random Cloak of Flame, 4-linked it, and put it on, right? So I can take less physical damage. I'm currently going for an evasion stacking route. My my last POB was mainly focused on armor, but I think that going evasion is much better with this current setup, as you can run, of course, stuff like Cloak of Flame, and you can get a lot more evasion than you can get armor, at least on like on the Necromancer specifically currently, right? That was the next upgrade. Now, the next upgrade after that, what I did was I took a crit multi fractured quiver. Thank you, Nipachu. I don't need that, but yeah, I took a broadhead quiver with fractured crit multi. You can get like tier 1 if you wanted to. I just was skimpy and got tier 4. Stacking crit multi is very important for this kind of build because that's how you get most of your damage, right? But I went with essence, I think deafening essences of agony until I hit fire damage with attacks, crit multi, crit chancing, accuracy rating. One of the biggest problems with this build is we need to stack accuracy as our minions will attack and need accuracy to hit things. So we need to scale accuracy on stuff like this, on our tree, stuff like that, and also grabbing this thing here for even more accuracy. And all that combined means that we can at least hit the target with our damage. Now, of course, another thing that I did was I crafted this bow. What I did was I just rolled it with I think I rolled it with essences. Yeah, I think I rolled it with essences, the fire flat essences, until I landed something that I liked. I craft the lightning damage, then I exalted on the percent damage, which will apply to, of course, your Bama. I do need to eventually upgrade this again. And the rest of my gear, absolute trash. I went and got some chaos res. I needed to have an unset ring so I could put my vitality in here. And of course, like my gloves are absolutely god awful. My belt is meh. It's like whatever. And then, my flasks are like whatever. I do have a utility flask for not taking bleed, which has saved me a lot of deaths, which is great. And that's pretty much it for gearing. Now, for passive tree stuff, I haven't really changed much. It's exactly the passive tree that I went for, except one thing that I did do was I made sure to grab Fleet Foot and the nodes behind it, because since this is making it so you move so slowly, you want to have as low of a cooldown as possible on your blink, so I actually went ahead and grabbed these. Now, eventually, if you end up not running the stampedes, you can grab out of this and then like move into more important stuff. But right now, while I'm wearing the stampedes, this is definitely the way to go. Now, it was actually very easy to get the gem. Like plenty of people are rolling gems and selling them. Like I said, I bought my gem for like 1 chaos, and you can probably buy yours for 1 chaos as well. Now, like I said, one thing I want to talk about real quick is mirror arrow plus prismatic clones. I have no idea how this works. I don't know the numbers behind it, and neither does POB currently. When POB actually figures out how this thing works and how it works in game, I will probably make an update where I talk about how to make Mirage Arrow prismatic clones work. Now, the problem with this is it's like Ellie Hit, but without all the stuff that makes Ellie Hit good. So it needs to do ridiculous amounts of damage to make up for the fact that it's not essentially Ellie Hit. Now, of course, one thing you can do is you can use the jewels that Ellie Hit uses to deny certain kinds of damage, and you can make it only deal like fire and cold or whatever, or just make it only deal fire. And hopefully that can help out a lot. And of course, we can still abuse the same stuff like fresh meat with mirror of like prismatic clones as well. And of course, you can have prismatic clones on top of the rain of arrows if you so choose. Now, of course, the problem here is just gem scaling and how all that works. So I'm going to leave that for another day, but that's going to be it for today. With all that being said, this has been Dread, off to go work on other stuff. Bye. This is about like, let's see here, 16 hours into it. I'll be honest, like we did a lot of crashing in the beginning, so I would shave like maybe an hour off of that. Oh my god, there was so much crashing. All right, bye guys.